Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, officially speaking now, to our webinar. My name is Leonardo Ribeiro. I will be your presenter today. I am here with Mr. Lucas Vicky. He will help us with your concerns, your questions, any doubts you may have about our solution. So in this meantime, while we wait a little bit more, we always know that sometimes the users, they can be a little bit delayed. So in this meantime, while we wait a little bit more, let's interact. We have two ways to interact with the attendees. First one is by the chat. You will see an option in your platform to communicate by chat. You can tell any comment you want by there. For example, we would like to know where are you from, guys? This is a global webinar, will be in English, but we know that there are many different customers from different regions. So if you can type there, where are you from? We would be very glad to hear. And in the meantime, while we present the content, we do have another option, the Q&A box. The Q&A, we suggest to use that for questions. If you have questions about the content, any product or any software solution, we recommend using the Q&A because the questions will be fixed in there. And as soon as possible, we will do some breaks when between one content and another, and I will be able to help you solving that questions. Lucas will be the responsible to see the questions and pass me the questions so we can talk together about that, right? And in the next, after after finishing the content, we can spare a little bit time to talk about specific projects, or if you have any questions that is not dedicated to the product, for example, for this webinar, but you would like to know from us, we can separate a time after all the presentation and talk about it, all right? So let's see, we have people from Albania, Trinidad Tobago, Portugal, Mexico, Tanzania, Argentina, many countries, right? UAE. So welcome, guys. Ecuador, Senegal. Whoa, we are very global here today. Welcome, everyone. I'm very glad to have you guys today here. And today the content is about the MVC2 series, not specifically for the product itself, but how we can solve access control and time attendance concern for enterprises. So we will up to present not only the hardware solution, but give you an examples of applications, how to use devices with the software, and so on. So Lucas, you're here with us, right? I would ask you to welcome yourself to everyone and help us on the questions in the chat box, okay?
Okay. Thank
All
you,
right.
Leo. I'm here. Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you guys. Let's start.
Thank you very much, Lucas. So let's officially start. Here is the agenda of today. We are going to talk a little bit about our company, then introducing the hardware products, the advantages of this C2 family. It's a very classic family, but we have a new generation on it right now. And we want to you guys know what's the difference between the previous one, right? And case studies, applications with our products, how to explore the maximum advantage the product can provide. And of course, some frequently asked questions and Q&A at the end, right? So feel free to chat with us. Feel free to ask your questions on the Q&A button. And remember, we are going to share this material after the webinar. So you will have all this document as well as the recording of this webinar. So we will provide you all the necessary content you may need to get the best experience from our services and our products, right? So for those that doesn't know Anviz yet, we can introduce ourselves at a glance. We are a global leader in the smart security industry. We have more than 20 years in this market. We started around 2001, focusing on biometric solutions. So we can say we are a pioneer on that field. And that at that time, we didn't hear about companies working with biometrics. So we were one of the first, and we are enhancing our solution since then. We have manufacturing base nearby Shanghai City in China that can produce up to 2 million unit capacity of devices annually. So it's quite big, 50,000 square meters. We do have our headquarters in the Shanghai City, and we have a USA office in North America that is a sales center for the Americas region. We are always energetic and open to the latest trends of the market. And now we are not only promoting biometric devices, but we are also promoting artificial intelligence, IoTs, and CCTV devices. You're going to see in the next slides. Okay, so as a briefing, we also have the timeline here, the milestones from our company. So as I told, starting there nearby the 2000s, and as a global company outside China, Anviz Global was established in 2005, and the first biometric generation as a key product line, the official one, was launched in 2007, but we did have biometric devices before that as well. Then year by year, growing up with the market trends, including CCTV products, smart lock products, and now we are focusing as in the artificial intelligent recognition solution. And here today to talk a little bit more about the C2 series, our global network. So we do not only have our official offices from the brand, but we do also have partnership with many distributors, many resellers, solution providers, security integrators all over the world. So if you're not a distributor, but a reseller or an integrator, or even an end user, we will be able to help you find the exactly position in our market to use and enjoy Anviz solutions. We do have a very strict policy to make you feel comfortable to work with our products and services, no matter which position you are, in which country you are, okay? So here is our currently product line, our current product line. We can split it basically in two sides: the access control and time attendance management solution, the biometric products from our brand, and the smart surveillance management solution. So the focus today will be a little bit more on the first side of this slide. But remember, we already have a scheduled webinar to talk about the CCTV, to talk about the smart surveillance solution. So if you're also interested in knowing our surveillance products, please, you can use our website, and we will give you the information by there when it's going to be and which time it's going to be. And Lucas, that is with us today, will be there as well. So Lucas, if you want to comment a little bit about that in the end, feel free to talk, to let the guys know how to enroll in our CCTV product webinar as well. All right.
Great.
Thank you. Okay, so in this content, during this webinar, we will also talk about the case studies, the successful cases using our products and solutions with many different kinds of application. For example, for the government, for universities, for multinational manufacturers. We do have a lot of interesting cases. You can have some of just a briefing of a few of them in this slide, but just to give you guys the knowledge that we do have a specific page inside our website where we detail project by project about the most interesting ones. We have contact with our distributors or integrators that work with our brands. So if you go at Anviz website, you can look for case studies in there, and you will have a lot of interesting information you can share with your customers, with your resellers, to give confidence in the brand, to tell them that the products that you're buying they are being using globally in many different applications. And of course, in this webinar, we are going to talk a little bit about case studies using the C2 series, the products we are going to introduce for now. Okay, so do we have any questions by now, Lucas? Any comments before starting with the products?
No, not for now, Leo.
Okay. Let's continue then. So here is the C2 series family. We can see 4 devices on the screen, and they have some common features that we can talk for now, but we are going to talk about them a little by little after this slide. So a very interesting feature, the IP65 dust and waterproof devices can be installed on the outdoor, multi-smart card reading, mobile access to communicate with your smartphone, PoE installation, very interesting for the installer. They love this feature. It makes it very easy to use and configure a device, and the million type design, which I'm going to explain in the next slides as well. A very interesting case of installation from our products. So comparing now the C2 series, the current family with the previous one, the devices are up to 30% faster than before. Why? What's the reason of this speed increasing? We are using the processor, a different processor for the C2 family, the same processor we are using on our facial devices, the FaceDeep family, the FacePass 7 Pro family. So we had a very successful feedback from the customers on the device, on our facial devices speed performance. So we brought this processor to the C2 family. So now devices are up to 30% faster than before. So for those that already thought that the device had a very fast performance, we are even faster now. So devices from this family can go up to 10,000 fingerprints, maximum 10,000 users, and up to 100,000 records, which means whenever someone put the finger, the device recognized, can be a finger, a card, a password, doesn't matter, but the device will store a record of that. Who was that person, when, which device, which time. So whenever you had a line of historic, you have a record, and the device have a memory to store up to 100,000 of records. So it's a very interesting capacity to take from devices to be used in access control and also time attendance. Here is a very interesting topic for the C2 family, that is the multi-smart card reader. What does it mean? The same RFID module from the devices can read different kind of frequencies, different kind of protocols, including the standard one, the AM 125. So this one is very used in previous devices from Anviz, and also the MIFARE 13.56 megahertz. So the same module can read both frequencies at the same time. You don't need to worry anymore in getting the correct module or getting an optional module for your product. We will not worry with this anymore because the same module can read both at the same time, including all other interesting protocols that uses the same frequency. For example, the MIFARE I already spoke, but also MIFARE Plus, this Fire, MIFARE Ultralight, and also HID I-class. So we do have a specific one that can be compatible with the HID I-class as well. Communication with smartphones. So all the C2 members, the family members of the C2 series are compatible to be communicated by smartphones. So you can download our CrossChecks mobile application by your Play Store, or if you're using an iPhone, it is also compatible. You can download it on your application shop by there as well. So both operational systems, iOS and Android, are compatible with our application. And by the app, you can communicate the devices by Bluetooth. So connecting the device by your phone, you'll be able to open door, you'll be able to enroll users, you will be able to get the records of your employees, for example, and also give permission for your employees or your users to record themselves in the devices using their phones. So not only the owner, not only the manager will be able to enjoy the application, the employees or the regular users will be able to do it as well. This is a very interesting application, the mullion type design. For those that are not so familiar, here is a picture of an example of this kind of application where we can install the device in the door frame. You can see that the device is very discreet, but in the same time, very efficient and very elegant to make the access control. So you can see that the door frame is a very short space, but the device can be there, install it and fix it right in the front side of the door. So many markets use this kind of application. They prefer doing that way because it's efficient and it doesn't take too much labor to install in that way. And the aesthetics is also very beautiful doing that. So our C2 devices, the C2 Slim, C2 SR, the one in this case that is in this slide, or the C2 KA can fit to this kind of application. Then I guess we already spoke about it in the beginning, but this is very interesting and very important application. The IP65 dust and waterproof protection. So devices with IP65, they have enough protection to be used in outdoor areas. So devices can performance very well, even if you can have an environment which can rain or a direct sunlight, for example, the devices can resist and performance normally during such conditions. This is an example of a C2 KA that includes the keypad and RFID. We have a comparison table in the next slides to give you more details about each model and their capacity and their technical specification as well. So don't worry about that. We will pass through there shortly. All right. Here is a very, very interesting feature that nowadays most of the installers requires it. That is the PoE installation, which means the PoE is a protocol that on the Ethernet cable, the cable we use to communicate the device by TCP/IP, it can also receive power to give energy to the device. So with the same cable, you give power to the device and you communicate the device with your software. So it saves a lot of time and cost for the installer. So with one cable, we can do it, and we can also power up the magnetic lock or the strike directly from the device. The device take the PoE energy and give power to the strike or to the smart lock. So it's very faster to install the system, and you will use less cables, and the aesthetic at the end will be even more beautiful. So it's just advantages, we can say. So our C2 devices, they support this kind of installation. Here, a little bit about our C2 Pro, the most complete device from the C2 series family. It can receive RFID, fingerprint, and password. You can combine these three technologies to generate a record. For example, if you want a double validation, employees must put their fingerprint, then swipe the card together to release the door or to generate the time attendance record. we can configure that. So the device is very flexible, talking about access control or time attendance methods to get a record. It also has a variety of inputs and outputs for the access control. So this device can also be used to open doors because it has an output relay you can use to trigger the lock, and also inputs for exit button and Wiegand output for third-party controllers. We do have a diagram in the next slides. I can give you more details of such applications, but in short, this device can be used for access control and time attendance as well. Together, including our cloud-based time attendance software. It's a very interesting software. I'm not going to speak for this in this specific slide because I want to give you all the details for that. Oh, here it is. Read my mind. So talking about the cloud software, we have Anviz own dedicated cloud-based time attendance management platform. That is the CrossChecks Cloud. What is that? So when you connect your device with your Ethernet cable or even by Wi-Fi, because the devices are compatible to be communicated by Wi-Fi as well, if your local network has internet access to the internet, the device can be managed from anytime, anywhere by the internet. You just have to create an account on our CrossChecks Cloud, and you input your data from your account in the device. That can be by the device menu or for the web browser, for example. As soon as you give the device your cloud account identification, you will be able to see it online, and we will be able to add users, manage existing users, collect records, time attendance, reports, and even now, since April 21st, we have enhanced our CrossChecks Cloud platform with some features that were very requested by the customers. For example, devices, you can manage devices and manual records for your employees as well. Assuming, for example, that you're an owner of a small company and you have employees registered in your account. Let's imagine your employee will be at a business trip next week. So he will not be there in the company to clock in and clock out. But we will also be able to get his records remotely because we can create an account for him as an employee inside the same platform, and he will be able to check in and check out remotely. He will send a request for the owner, for the manager, and the manager will check that request. And if he is he thinks that that record is okay, he can authorize it, and when he authorizes his record, it will be counted as a normal record to be used in the reports. So now employees can check in and check out even outside the office. It not necessarily needs Anviz reader to generate such record. So we are enhancing our CrossChecks Cloud solution to give you not only flexibility, but powerful features to be used for your time and attendance management system. Lucas, yeah, I would just call you right now. Do we have any questions?
Yes, using the software, we have some questions here. One from Mr. Abdul Razak that I would say you already answered. His question was if employee can clock in for time attendance through mobile apps remotely.
Okay, this is a good question. Yeah, I think I answered that partially, but I can complement. So for Mr. Abdul Razak, yes, they can clock in remotely using mobile phones, but for now, not the mobile app, not the application. He can use the web browser, so he can type on, for example, on the Google Chrome, on the Safari, his CrossChecks Cloud account, and set remotely his clocking by there. we are developing our application. So shortly, maybe by the end of this or in the middle of the next month, we will have the app to do exactly according to what your question. But in short words, for now, it is possible to be done by the web browser. Doesn't matter if it's a mobile phone or a computer or a notebook, it can be done.
Yes, another question on the same topic of mobile apps and mobile application. The customer have to buy any license to use the mobile app or not?
No, we don't have any kind of license to be used to enjoy the Crosscheck's cloud platform. So assuming that you already have an Anviz hardware and the hardware is compatible to the cloud communication, you will not need to pay anything else.
All okay, right? Okay, great. Another question, Leo. For example, on the time attendance, on the C2 Pro, in that case, can we have our staff on the time attendance and select some of them to have the access control to open some doors?
Yes, to do this mixed combination, we would need to use the Crosscheck's standard, not the Crosscheck's cloud specifically, but it is possible. For example, you can have employees to clock in and clock out as user group 0, which means user group 0 will not open the door, but will have records for attendance. And for only access control users, you can use user group number 1. User group number 1 trigger the device relay to open the door. This is alternative, but depending on what you need, we can explore even other kind of alternatives to make this, but it is possible to be done.
Okay, you also explained some about the remotely signing. Another question, if the remote signing in is allowed on the time attendance system and access control system, there is any modality that we can control the access on time-based level?
Is this questions on the Q&A on the
chat?
Okay, let me read it carefully to reply it. If remote signing is allowed on the time attendance, is there any modalities to control access on a timed? Okay, I got your question. Well, these are two different things. We can split them. So if we are talking about time attendance specifically, the employees can request records to clock in and clock out for the manager to authorize them. But if we are talking for access control, we can use our Crosscheck standard to configure time-based or time permission access, which means, for example, let's imagine that I will enroll employee that will only be able to open the door of my office from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I can do that for the C2 Pro using Crosscheck's standard. So this is access control application, not time attendance specifically speaking. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. We have two more questions if you want to go on, and then we back.
Well, yeah, let's save them for the next contents, because we will have also time at the end to reply questions as Q&A time. Okay, so help me to save these questions for the next steps.
Yes,
thank you. Okay, guys, so I'm very glad that you guys are interested in knowing more about our solution. So if you can stay with me after, we can solve all the necessary questions you may have. I will be here to help you guys on that. So continuing, for those that don't have more other questions as well, this is a configuration diagram that can help you with understanding a little bit more how to install the devices to be used. For example, in a standard access control system, the C2 Pro on the left side is connected by PoE, and it is using its relay to trigger and also to power up the smart lock, the magnetic lock. So for example, the PoE gives communication and energy, and the relay will give energy and trigger the access for the magnetic lock. And in the other hand, I have an exit button that can open the door from the inside to outside. So this is a standard application, but we do have other kind of application as well. So we are using now the controller SAC922. This is a brand new device as well. I'm going to introduce it, but for those that already know Anviz a little bit more, this is a evolution of the previous controller we had, the SCO11. So the logic is basically the same. So the device is connecting with the controller, not to open door, but to record and to send a signal to the controller. Then the controller will open the door. For this specific controller, we have two ways to do that. The standard one that we already know, the Wiegand, and for now, we will also be able to communicate by Bluetooth. This is a very new feature. We are going to talk a little bit more at the end. And in the right side, a standard application using just the Wiegand. So the controller has Wiegand input. And for those that are not familiar with this name, Wiegand is an access control protocol that the reader sends to the controller, and the controller understands it to open the door. What is the advantage of this application? Why not using the relay directly? Well, it will give you more safety, which means imagine someone break up the device or cut the cables of the device, or even try to trigger the relay manually, trying a forced opening of your door. If you have a controller and a reader this way, it will not open the door. Doesn't matter whatever I do with the device or with the installation, the controller will not receive the Wiegand code, the encrypted code to open the door. So this gives a lot of more safety for your application. For example, to be used in outdoor areas, or in the first door nearby the street, or in places that you need more safety to keep the door closed. Doesn't matter what happened with your readers. So this is a very interesting application you can explore. And devices connected by Wi-Fi or by TCP/IP, using PoE or not, all of them to be managed by the Crosscheck standard application. That is our software dedicated to access control management systems. All right.
Well,
yes.
Just
okay.
On the configuration, we also have a question if it's compulsory to use the controller SC011 on the access control connection.
Well, we can still use it. We are still producing. We still have the SC011. Here we show a little bit more differences between the previous one, the SC011, and the SAC922, the new one. In short words, the previous controller can be used by Wiegand specifically. This one will be used by Wiegand and also by Bluetooth. So you have an additional communication method between the controller and the reader. But before starting with the controller, did I reply the customer question?
I think his point is like it's a must to use, or we can use.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thanks for clarifying. It's not a must to use. You can use the device relay to trigger the door, but some places they request more safety. So using the controller, you give a next level safety to the installation, because you will have the reader, the controller, and then the smart lock. If something happens between the reader and the controller, the door will keep closed. Understand that?
Thank you so much, Del.
Okay, thank you very much. So assuming that now we are starting to talk about the SC922. This is the next generation controller we are manufacturing and will be ready by the next quarter. It's an evolution of the CO11 as we spoke. What are the differences now? We will still have a relay output to control the door like the SC011, but now we can control 2 readers for the same door. So you can put, for example, a reader in the inside and a reader on the outside to manage both ways, both directions of the same application. So this will help you managing the door and have better experience with the devices. For example, this controller, specifically speaking, they have Bluetooth communication. So if your device has Bluetooth communication as well, the C2 series, for example, they all have Bluetooth. You can put them in a wireless communication with the controller. So you will not need to separate cables between the controller and the reader. So this will save you cost with the installation, will save you time with the statics of that, and will provide you the same safety that a regular controller can use. So this is a very interesting feature that now we will provide on this new controller. And another thing we didn't have before, fire alarm input. So if the installation of your customer or your own installation has a fire alarm system, you can use a triggering contact in our alarm input controller. So if there is a fire, if something happened, the alarm send a command to the controller and the controller will open all doors automatically for evacuation. So this is a very interesting feature our controller will provide for now. TCP/IP. So this is another interesting thing because the CO11 didn't have communication with the software. Now you will be able to control your SAC922 with the same software as your readers. So the cross-check standard, you will be able to manage the readers and also the controllers. Another interesting feature, the controller can be used for standalone applications now. If we are considering RFID users, for example, let's assume I just need a regular application. My controller can store up to 3,000 RFID cards on its memory. So a simple reader, it couldn't be even another brand reader, for example. The device, the controller could manage these cards and open the door for the authorized users. So the device passes to be also a controller with own memory for that. And as I explained, it is compatible with the cross-check software, the same software from you can manage the readers, and is under Linux platform, just like the devices from the C2 series families and the facial devices from Anviz and some others as well. Just to provide you a more complete and competitive access control application. So it goes straight to the point where we told how to solve concerns of access control enterprising solutions. So Lucas, I think that I will put this table in this meantime, so customers that they don't have questions, they can see some interesting features of the models from the C2 family. So each column you have a model, and then you have specific features you can compare, and we can open some time for the questions while customers can compare devices features between each other.
Great, Leo. Mr. Feroskan asked, what is the distance recommended to reach the reader via Bluetooth?
Okay, this is a very interesting question. For the Bluetooth distance, it's the standard distance. We don't suggest devices too distance from the controller, but we can assure that for 10 to 15 meters, the device would work normally.
Okay, great. I believe you already answered that, but how many readers can connect for one controller?
For each controller, you can connect up to 2 devices. So because each controller has one relay, so it will control only one door, but can be from both directions. And these devices can be, for example, 2 devices by Bluetooth, or 1 device by Bluetooth and another device by Wiegand.
Great, appreciate that. And the C2 Pro time attendance report, can we link to the third party?
Yes, we can link to third-party softwares. We have different ways doing that. So for example, depending on your third-party application, we can use the reports by our software directly. You can export it by the Excel file, for example. So let's imagine the cross-check standard. You can separate the columns you need and the users you need, and it will export an Excel file. You can take this Excel file and import in your third-party software. Or other ways we can do that. Some integrators, they use some developing tools to communicate the hardware with their own software platform. So in this other method, you don't need Anviz software. You can communicate the Anviz device directly with the third-party software. So we have few ways to do that, but it's possible to do.
Okay. And Mr. Paulo also asked if we have 2 devices and 2 different places. The database, just a moment, because I'm translating. He sent the question in Portuguese.
Oh, okay. No problem.
So his point is like, we have 2 devices in 2 different places. Can we use the database from these 2 devices only in one place?
Okay, I saw the question from Mr. Paulo, right? Okay. Yes, it is possible, Paul. I will reply you in English for all the other guys to get your answer. You can have 2 devices in different places. You can have the database in the same or even in a different third place. It is possible to be done. If we are talking about Crosscheck's cloud, the database will always be in the cloud. You will not have this database in your hands because it will be protected by all the necessary privacy policies under the cloud software, but you will be able to manage that from devices anywhere. If you're talking about Crosscheck standard, you can use the devices in the WAN method. It's not a regular application, but it's possible. And you can have your database in a private server on your own computer, for example. It is possible to be done.
Great.
One more before we proceed.
One more, yes.
Okay.
How to pair the new controller to C2, and if pair C2 is faulty and needed to replace, how to pair it to the new C2? It's a little bit complex.
No, I guess I understand that. So to pair devices with controllers, it's not difficult. It's quite simple. So first thing is to enable the Bluetooth that is already come by standard. The devices come with the enabled Bluetooth. You can communicate the devices by web browser. For example, if it's a C2 Slim, you don't have menu on the device screen. You don't have a device screen to see that. So you type the local IP address on the device, and by there, you can proceed with the next steps to pair with the controller. But if you have a C2 Pro, for example, on the device menu, you would be able to set communication and Bluetooth and then doing the steps. It will also be by one method or another, by a web browser or by the device menu directly. Okay. And if case you replace, if the device is faulty, you need to replace it. You just have to eliminate the previous device and add the new device in the IP web browser. And by the web browser, do the same steps again. We will have all the detailed manuals, all the information necessary to do the step-by-step for all the steps necessary to configure and pair devices by Bluetooth or any other method, okay?
Okay. We can move forward to presentation and back later.
Perfect. Thank you, Lucas. So guys, we are trying to reply all the questions. I'm very happy you have them. So stay with us until the end, because if we have not replied your question yet, we will at the end, okay? So here, why C2 series? Some advantages of our solutions. So Anviz C2 series, it's built for today's modern business. What does it mean? It can be used, for example, for building entrance. It doesn't need to open a door specifically. It cannot just, device will be used to trigger a magnetic lock. This is one alternative, but we can do many other kind of applications. For example, communicate the device with turnstiles, with speed gates, interlocking doors when one door must be closed before the other doors open. There are a lot of access control logics. You could use the readers to explore this application. We also have a lot of case studies interesting sharing this kind of solution. You can check our website and also our community. I will explain a little bit more about our community. It's a very interesting platform. We can interact to each other on the next slides. Another advantage, smart cloud-based workforce management. So as we spoke before, the Crosschecks Cloud is a very flexible and easy to manage software. You can communicate your devices and do an easy and fast time attendance management system. Doesn't matter where you are. If you have internet, you'll be able to see reports and manage the workforce of your office, of your employees. Parking with touchless entry. Another advantage you can explore is to use devices wireless, which means you can use the Bluetooth to open the or to trigger the relay to open the door, to open a gate or a barrier that is connected with the access control system. You don't need to touch the device or be nearby it with your face, for example. By the Bluetooth, you can open the door. And another application, very interesting, multi-card technology, including to be used with elevators. Why not? Assuming, for example, you have a building and there are different offices in this building, and each offices use a different type of RFID card, for example. With our C2 Slim or our C2KA or even the C2SR, we have very flexible RFID module that can read many different frequencies. So you can use the device to call the elevator with the card. Doesn't matter the frequency, the user or the visitor goes there, swipe the card. We can put the device relay to the elevator controller to call the elevator by the card. This is a very interesting application you can explore using Anviz devices. And here is our roadmap. What's next? What we intend to implement in the next months, in the next quarters. First thing is the NFC application. We know that NFC is becoming famous, and with the time, many companies are using it, many methods using this NFC. So we will be compatible with the same frequency. So you will be able to use your mobile phone with the NFC to swipe it as a card on the device and have access or have recorded your time attendance ins and outs. So this is one of our next steps to provide it. Next one, QR access control for visitor management. This is something we are studying, and we will have a new device very soon to read QR codes. So the QR codes will be able to be used by visitors. So for example, if you are the owner and you are inviting someone to be at your office or to be at your building, you will be able to create QR codes with temporary access. So for example, this visitor will have authorization to get inside my building just for today between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m., for example. I will send this visitor a QR code. The QR code will be valid just for this specific time. We are working on this solution. Remote access. We know devices for now to use the mobile phone, they just have communication by the Bluetooth. That is a short range of application. So next steps, we will introduce in our CrossChecks Cloud application the possibility to open doors remotely, because the CrossChecks Cloud is a flexible software. You are already able to communicate devices by there. We will add an open door button for your devices, so you will be able to open doors remotely, even not being nearby the device. We will be able to manage access control that way. And another very important feature, the GPS-based tracking. So for now, we already have the manual records. The employees can check in anytime, anywhere, using manual requesting, and we are going to add the GPS location for those employees. So the manager or the owner will be able to see by the GPS tracking where are your employee requesting for clocking in or requesting for clocking out. So he will make sure that the employee is exactly on where he intends to be to start working to get the reports correctly for such application. This is a very interesting comparison table with many manufacturers, many products, globally speaking, and we would like to let you guys know where we have advantage comparing with other brands. So as you can see, this is a comparison line between price and user experience that includes the features and the easy to use experiences devices can provide according to customers' opinion. So in short words, our devices from C2 family, they have more characteristics, more technical features, and they are not so expensive as other famous brands in the markets. So for those that have more or less the same price or even cheaper price, we have more functions. And for those that are more famous or more well-known, we have less price. So we do have an advantage between them in the market where you can explore your market using Anviz solutions. All right. Lucas, what do you think if we get some questions for now?
Yes.
Proceed?
Yes, let's do it. Mr. Abdul ask if you mentioned on the presentation that we can use Anviz solution for lift control. I didn't get this part, but you can just clarify.
Yes, I guess I understand his questions. So for lift or elevator control, depending on your region, for now, our devices can trigger the elevator to call the elevator for the specific floor where the user is. I'm telling you this because, for example, we can use this as an alternative for the button, or for example, to trigger a specific floor, but only one floor, because the device doesn't have a logic that you can configure. For example, this employee, whenever he passes the card or put the finger, he will trigger floor number 2. The other user will trigger floor number 3. We cannot provide multi-level floors, but we can provide to call the elevator where he is, or for example, to give a specific floor for all the employees. So must be the same logic for all the users.
Okay, Leo. Back into the software, we have a question from Maria, from Ms. Maria. She asked if it's possible to configure the software to add a price per hour for employee.
Okay, this is a good question. For the Crosschex standard or the Crosschex cloud software itself, we cannot add currency or money in the software because they are global softwares. So for example, we cannot add US dollars conversion or pesos or euros. We cannot do that for the software itself, but as a suggestion, you can export the report in an Excel file. And in the Excel file, you can add another column with the currency, with the salary of your employees, and do the automatic multiplication by there. This is what many of our customers do. It's not automatic on the software because of these reasons, but it's very fast to be done. Excel can do it automatically for everyone.
Great. And about the controller, what is the communication speed of the controller?
Well, the communication speed is the same as the readers. There is not a concern on this. You will be able to communicate the controller by the TCP with the software and transfer users and records in the same speed as the readers, because they will use the same processors, the same operational system, and the same protocols. So it will not be slower than what you already have using Anviz devices.
Great. And the last one, the controller have the same memory chip as the C2 devices?
The same membership, memory
chip.
Ah, okay, the memory. Not the same memory, because the controller can store up to 3,000 users on the memory. As the devices, the readers can store up to 10,000, depending on your reader. But the logic is the same. So you can communicate each other by the software and transfer users from each other. Of course, if we are talking about fingerprint, the controller will not have fingerprint memory because it doesn't have a fingerprint sensor to compare, but it will store passwords and it will store RFID cards normally. So you don't need to worry about that.
Okay, nice. Also, Ms. Maria asked if C2 Pro has mobile access.
Yes, you can use the Crosschex Cloud application by Bluetooth to have a mobile access with any C2 devices from this family. Then let's continue. We can spare time for the other questions we don't reply it so far. Okay, so starting now with case studies. This is a very interesting part of our webinar where we speak about applications. Customers that used our solution to provide good experience to the end user. So for example, this is a case study used for an auto chain service store. It is a store that has a lot of offices in the country, around the 100 offices, and they needed to control their time attendance employees under the same platform. Doesn't matter where the employees were, if they were in office 1 or office 53, doesn't matter. They wanted to control everything in the same platform. So for this application, we provided at least one device per office. So, and the picture on the right side, you can see a user punching in with the fingerprint on a C2 Pro device and automatically recording to the Crosschex Cloud. So using the Crosschex Cloud application, we can do it. We can add different offices in the same cloud account, and manage different kind of attendance reports for the employees. So there's not an extra cost for that. There is not an office limit for that. So you can put 20 offices, 30 offices, in this case, 100 offices to be managed in the same platform. So this is a very interesting case study. We use it with the C2 Pro for management platform. Another interesting case, this is an integration with a third-party company. They used our C2 Pro hardware with their own software. So I guess someone also asked this in the chat. I had a very quick overview on that. If we can provide SDK or APIs for third-party integration. Yes, we can, and this is an example. This company used our SDKs to integrate our hardware with their software. So they are specialized in student platform for universities. So they used our readers to control the frequency of their students on the university. They can, with their software, check if the student is inside the school or is inside the university, how many hours they are inside the university. They can send messages to their parents, or they can get a notification for the other people that are nearby the student to see if they're checking or they check out, how many hours they spend in each class, for example. They can do it by their own software. And this is a very successful case in the United Kingdom with our partner using C2 Pro. So another way you can explore our devices with. Another case, this is from a North American time attendance small business reselling our products on e-commerces. For example, this one is selling our devices in Amazon. They have devices to be reselling under the North American, and they have a very good service there. By the pictures, you can see some opinion from customers that they are very satisfied with our solution. So if you have a small shop, an online shop, you can also resell our products. We just recommend you giving a good service for your customers. And of course, if you have any questions, any comments or concerns you cannot solve with your customer directly, you can contact our team to help you with the pre-sales operation. And this one is a regular application. So it doesn't need to be big projects or a lot of devices. In a simple application, you can use our devices. So in the right side, you can see a C2 Slim installed to control a door by the regular access control application. So the device triggers a relay to open the door by a strike or a magnetic lock. So this is the most common application you can enjoy with our devices, including in the left side, another example of million type application where the device is installed in a door frame. So it becomes very beautiful and slim, very compact. And I guess we can now save some time for the Q&A. I think I will do the opposite because for the customers that they don't have other questions, we can let them know all the information necessary they need, and then we can keep here to solve the questions. So before moving with the questions, guys, I want you guys know that we have an awesome team to support you with our solutions. So to prove that, we can provide 3 years warranty period for our products. That's right, 3 years. It's a long time if we are talking about electronic devices. We can provide that. If you want to know more details, you can check our warranty policy on the website. So you will see all the details why we can provide 3 years warranty for you. We also have special offers if you are registering projects. So we do have a platform for project registration. where you can put the information for a project you may need support from us. So you can let us know where it is, what customer, what they need, and why, how we can help with this project. Why giving such details for us for project application? Because we can protect you from other customers, from other Anviz customers that can compete with you in the project. So if you register your project, we will give priority to help you instead other competitors to provide the solution for your customer. And of course, all the necessary support. So for example, if you need customization, if you need a specific application that the device standard mode cannot provide, we will communicate you by the platform to give you all the necessary information so we can win together this project with your customer. Global customer service, English and Spanish. So we have 24 hours support platform under our website, but we also have a US phone number you can call in business hours on the EST time, on the eastern part of North America. We can help you on that as well. And a very well developed collaboration partnership. We have different policies. Doesn't matter, as I told before, if you are a reseller, if you are a distributor, if you are an end user, we will check exactly the way you can collaborate with us with enough profit margin, with enough specific conditions. And our community, this is a very interesting platform. We released it maybe not there's not even 2 months we have it. So you can type on your web browser community.anviz.com, so you can register an account there, and we explore a lot of interaction with our users by there. So for example, we have a cross-checks cloud topic where we give a lot of tips, a lot of tutorials, how you can enjoy your cross-checks cloud with all the features we can provide. Another one is the story platform where you can share pictures, you can share details of your existing installation. And we also, from the brand, share successful and interesting different cases that they are using our products with pictures, how to use them. So it's a very interesting platform. We can communicate each other in a non-formal way, we can say. We can communicate easily and comfortable using such platform, okay? And I guess this is all the content we have. I separated some FAQs right here, so you can have a read on this. In this meantime, while we can talk about specific questions. So guys, for those that don't have any more questions, if you're clear with all the content we have, thank you very much for participating with us. I'm very glad to be with you today, and we will be here if you need questions, if you have questions in the next opportunities. For example, if it's not, you don't remember something to ask us, but you still have any concerns, you know, you can contact us anytime. You can follow us on our social medias. Sorry, you can follow us on our social medias. You just can type as Anviz Global anywhere. You will be able to find it, if it's an Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube channel. We have very interesting videos in there. So feel free to reach us by any method, any channel you prefer. All right. Thank you very much, guys. So now we are officially starting the Q&A time. So we can talk about questions and project doubts for all the customers that still have necessity to communicate with us to solve any kind of problem. Okay. Bye for the guys and ladies that are going, that doesn't have questions. Thank you again. And Lucas, if you can help me with the questions, let's open a free space for now.
Yeah, before the questions, just highlighting the comment of Suraj. Yes, Anviz Global has providing a lot of great business opportunities for our partners. As Leo mentioned, we have a good team around the world, Portuguese speakers, English speakers, Spanish speakers, with a local team in Brazil and Latin and Asia Pacific. So all of these tools is to support you guys and offer the best solution and support available in the market. So thank you so much, Suraj, for your comments.
Nice to hear that. Very nice. Thank you.
Okay, so
sorry, Lucas.
About questions, Mr. Wen asked, what is the maximum quantity of devices and users that we can add in the cross-check standard and cloud? Okay, very good question. For the software, specifically speaking, you don't have a limit for your databases. For the cross-check standard or cloud, you can have in the database 10,000, 100,000, doesn't matter, because what really matters is the memory of your biometric device. Assuming, for example, your device has 10,000 fingerprints capacity, you can have 100,000 in your software, but that specifically device will be able to support only 10,000. So this is the logic between our software and hardware. Great. Mr. Paulo asked if we can clarify the questions in Portuguese. I will say some words for him in Portuguese. Okay. Paulo, você pode mandar o seu e-mail e o seu contato aqui no Q&A e nós vamos entrar em contato contigo para clarificar essas tuas questões, ok? Por favor, Paulo. A gente vai poder te ajudar dessa forma. Let's see. So for the guys that I saw a question asking for the emails of support and contact. So in the general way, I'm typing here on the chat for everyone our support email, that is support@anviz.com. And if you're questioning about sales topics, you can go at sales@anviz.com. So these emails are the general emails to catch the first communication with the interested in our brand. Feel free to type by there, or as I told, by Instagram or by LinkedIn. We have a team to reply you by there. Sorry, Lucas, just to give information to the guys. Okay, great. Mr. Amadou also asked about the cross-check question. His question, when trying to set a device to multiple departments, cross-check gives the back an error message. I'm not sure if this is for cross-checks cloud or it is for cross-check standard. We would have to evaluate there. But Amadou, if you can share a screenshot of this error to our support team, I'm sure the guys will be able to help you with that. On our website, we also have a trouble ticket page where our support team can help you up to 24 hours with support necessities. So it would be even faster if you go that way. I'm sure they will help you with that. Okay. You also mentioned on the presentation, Leo, about the integration with the strike locks on, I don't know how to pronounce the name who asked that, but can you share more details on that? I saw the question, Mr. Godwin, right? Okay, sure. Mr. Godwin, we have a slide for that. This is a common diagram we have, but we can use as reference. There are some drafts here. So in this diagram, if you want to communicate with the locks directly, all the devices that provides access control, they have a relay. And the relay, let me put a marker here. The relay had normal open, normal closed, and common.
communications, connections. So depending on your smart lock, depending on your electronic lock, you can use common and normal closed to give permission to your door to open, or if it is a strike, for example, you can use normal open and common to do that. So in general, usually magnetic locks, they need energy to keep the door closed. So if we use the normal closed button switch of the relay, it will let the door close it. And when a user is authorized, it triggers the relay and open the relay, so it automatically opened the door. So the same logic for the normal open for other kind of lock applications. They use energy to open the door instead keeping the door closed. So in those cases, you use the normal open switch. So to give you specifically details, installation diagrams correctly, you can check anviz.com, select the product you are interested, and on the page of the product, on the bottom, you will see a download part where you can download the guides, the installation guides of each device. On those guides, you have all the specific diagrams for each model that will help you to understand exactly how to install the lock to your product, your chosen model, okay?
Mr. Feruskan has a question. He also asked if he can speak on their speaker.
Yes, it is possible. We can do it. So before that, Lucas, on the Q&A button, did we answer all those questions? I'm seeing some questions by there.
We have a question that is not related to this presentation, but assuming that you are responsible for the technical side, let's use your time and these opportunities. How to do one connect the W2 Pro to cloud?
Okay, very good. For this question to Hamed Fashina, right? Sorry if I pronounced that wrongly, but we have tutorials explaining how to communicate devices with cloud. On the community that I mentioned before, I will also reply the question like community.anviz.com. We have tutorials to guide exactly step by step how to communicate devices with the cloud. So you have to create a cloud account, then you have to communicate the device, and in the device menu or in the device web browser, you put your account numbers and password in the device memory. So this is enough to make the communication. Of course, the community will have more details. Okay. So Mr. Feroshkan, yes, we will open your microphone soon. Just let me reply the text questions that we can hear from you about your questions. Okay. Okay, Lucas, next one.
Miss Emily Corey asked the exactly time for delivering of C2KIA.
Oh,
actually,
Emily, yes.
We have some. We have to double check with the factory because, as we may know, China right now is facing some pandemic situation. So we don't have the exactly time and exactly answer for you right now, but we will confirm it to the factory. And if possible, write us an email for that question, and then we can reply you as soon as
Emily.
possible.
My suggestion is to ask your sales manager directly for that, because depending on the region, it can be faster, it can be a little bit more delayed. So if you don't have contact with the sales manager, you can type at sales@anviz.com, inform there your region, and we will forward you to the sales manager. They will be able to help you with the questions about the ETAs and the delivery time. Okay. Feroshkam, I see your question that you have about an employee for leave approval or sick leave by CrossCheck Cloud. We will open your microphone. We can talk about this soon. Kurt Lequay, Does software provide for visitor registration, visitor request, and credential approval? Not yet. We are on the roadmap for that, so we don't have it so far. In our next plan, we will develop a device with QR code reading. So with that device, we will have software prepared to work for visitor management. But for now, we cannot provide that, unfortunately. And then if C2 Pro has registered with 10,000 users, 2 fingerprint per users, with will slow down in the one-end verification. Very good question, Wang Hang. Well, first thing is to explain you a little bit more about the logic. So if we have a device with 10,000 fingerprints, if we enroll 2 fingerprints per user, we will consume fingerprint memory from the device. So if all users use 2 fingerprints, the maximum capacity for users will be 5,000, because 2 per user, 5,000 will complete 10. But answering your question, no, it will not slow down. It will not affect the performance of the device. We have done several tests using a full database for faces and for fingerprints. The devices performs very well. Of course, it will not be so fast as if you have 1 or 2 users, but it will not be a bigger time that you will concern about it. It will still recognize it before 1 second. So it's more than enough for a regular access control and time attendance application, okay? Another one. Lucas, in the chat, are we good or we have more?
Yes, we are okay. Just Mr. Feroshka, if we can open his microphone.
I saw only one more here from Suraj. Suppose I'm using dry power sliding door. What is the connection diagram? Oh, okay, Suraj. So as I told you, you can check your device in the web page. So for example, if you have a C2 Slim, you go on the Anviz web page, products, select C2 Slim, download the quick guide, and in the quick guide, it will give you examples of dry power for normal open locks and normal closed locks. You will have this information there. So with that, we finish all the questions by the chat and by all the questions for the Q&A. And okay, let me check here. Feroshkam, you still there? Please confirm just so I can open your microphone. Send your message here in the chat box. I will find you and open the microphone. Just a moment. Okay, here. I saw your hands up. You have now permission to microphone. Let me hear from you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, loud and clear.
Thanks for the good session. My question is related with the cloud software, cross-check cloud software.
Okay.
Is the flexible shift is possible to make it on the cross cloud check? Like if the employees working morning 8 to 10, after the 2-3 hours break, again they are coming back to office 1 to 4 o'clock. Again they have 2 hours break, like a flexible shift hours.
Okay.
So if in this case, you the shift for the particular employee, because the example, 1 week is working as a flexible shift and another week is working as a night shift, or another week like the day it will be changed for the particular employees.
Okay.
So this flexible shift hours is possible to make it on the cloud.
Okay, I got your question. For now, if you intend to use this method of working, I would recommend you to use the cross-check standard. It's 100% possible to do that for now. Currently, for the cross-checks cloud, we can have flexibility shifts, but we don't have the break function yet. So, for example, if you have just like 2 records per day, we could do it. So for example, today you start at 8 a.m., finish at 4 p.m., and tomorrow you start 2 p.m. and finish 11 p.m. If you just have 2 records per day, now it's possible on Crosscheck's Cloud. But if you have more than 2 records per day, we don't have it because we are right up to implement the break function. It's on our roadmap. It's one of our priorities for now. So I believe the next implementation for the Crosscheck's Cloud will have the break function. And of course, with the break function, we will be able to provide the same thing that we already have in the standard for the cloud as well. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. And the second question is email notification to send by the. Is it possible for cloud check? Because I saw it was not there, but some are asking for the email notification to send automatically at the end of the day for the report. How many people for getting it? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. For now, we don't have this feature. We cannot use mail notifications. We have a community. I think you heard from what I told before. We have a platform there for suggestions. We would like you a lot if you could write your suggestion in there using the email notification, exactly how, for what kind of reason. I guess I understand clearly, but if you could describe that in English, we would take advantage to list all the suggestions from our customers, and we'll take them about priority, which one is more requested for customers, and then select them and provide them one by one as the time goes by in our solution. We did the same, just to give you an example, we did the same for the manual requests. So we heard a lot of customers looking for that, and we provided that. We now are working on the GPS tracking that we heard a lot of the customers now we are providing. So I'm sure that if the email notification is something very necessary, we will provide that too. So if you can help us with that, I will appreciate.
Those which email I have to send for the suggestion, sales or a support email? Actually, anyone, correct?
Yeah, but if you can go on the community page, and make a post there, we will interact with other users. We can make some votes, for example. What feature you want most? We will put a few options there, and the features that is more interesting for the users, we will put on our priority list to provide. So we can reach many customers as possible with the features they need most. Because as you know, we have limited capacity. We cannot do everything in parallel, so we can focus on the most important first and provide the best experience possible to the customers.
Okay, thank you. And the one more thing, the request, the leave request or manual punch request for the employee, if they are sending to the admin login. Example, the vacation leave, I'm asking for 1 month for my time period. I send the request, even though they approved it. Due to some reason, suddenly my vacation I'm postponing. Due to some project work, I got stuck between that one. So once they approved, admin can able to delete that request and reassign some other day for that through Crosscheck Cloud.
For the Crosscheck's Cloud, about the requesting, you cannot modify the requests. The owner, the manager can approve or delete. So if he sees that the request is wrong, he can delete, but he will need the employee to ask for the correct requesting after that. So he can communicate with the person.
Okay, again they have to give the request. I'm just changing the date, the notification message, like this.
It's not possible to modify. So for example, let's assume your employee ask for leave next week, but instead of requesting May 22nd, he requested from May 23rd. So it's wrong according to your plans. So you cannot modify it. You have to communicate to him to make it accordingly to what you need. So you, in this case, you would delete his request, reject, and ask him to request correctly, then you will be able to approve. You cannot modify.
Okay. And the one more thing, suppose I'm purchased 10 device for the model Anviz C2 Pro or some other thing. 10 is the different region. Example, one US have one device, and another places, another different state have another device. All I'm controlling through cloud. So when I'm controlling through the cloud, the department, when I'm created for particular department, example sales or IT or HR department, I need to be assigned this sales department for this region only. So when I'm registering, I'm not able to understanding which device for which
Okay.
sales department, because in the same state they have, example in USA I have three branches. Three branches have sales. Identified to send the particular device only for the sales department. When I'm getting report, it was showing the report for all the devices. I don't want to look it out devices for the report. I need particular devices for particular department for the reports.
Okay.
So in this case, how I can filter it actually, because I have thousands employee, I can't filter one by one for this by the employee ID. You got me actually?
Yes, I think I got it. I will reply you and you tell me if it's answering your question or not. But yes, first thing is to understand the logic for the departments. If you are used with the crosscheck standard, it's a little bit different, because in the crosschecks cloud, we use the department to assign users with devices. So we don't use that much for the sales team or for the technical team. We can do differently. On the community that I told you, we have a crosschecks cloud page there. I have a specific topic just to explain how the department logics work on the crosschecks cloud. But in a short example, let's assume that you have 3 offices in North America. So you would create a department 1, office number 1, department 2, officer number 2, department 3, officer number 3. And for your employees, so assuming one employee is able to have permission for the 3 offices, when you create or when you modify the employee, you can select which departments this employee will be able to clock in and clock out. There is a specific field there that you can put, for example, all departments, or just department 1 and department 2. So if you do this way, this employee will be able to clock in and clock out on the device number 1 and the device number 2 that are on these departments, but not in the department or device number 3. So basically, this is the logic you have to follow.
Okay, you are saying instead of choosing because there is no option for choose the device, 10 device, which device I have to focus. Instead of that, you are saying to create as a department 1.
Yes. And then
department like that, actually, you are saying.
Yes, exactly. And the same happens for the device itself. So when you connect a device, you inform the software which department is that device. So if that device is department number 1, whenever you set permission for employees with department number 1, they will be sent for all the devices in the department number 1. So it's a triangle, you understand? This is how it works.
Actually, instead of department, if a device is listed shown, then I can filter with this device only this much employees registered. That could be more easier. So it's okay. I just noted this point. I will mention on the community for the feedbacks. Yeah,
okay,
no
yeah,
issues.
will be welcome. And you will understand the logic, explaining with examples just what we spoke now. I have written there how it works.
Yeah, I had some other also clarification, but right now not need. This is
okay.
But thanks for this one. And one more thing, by mobile, you said we can check in and check out through mobile also. We can do it, correct? How employee suppose 1 week is going for the meeting. So you can able to access today I was in this site for the meeting, so anyhow it's like his presence, like a meeting in and out, so you can able to do it from the mobile check-in and check-out. I didn't find in the mobile for anything for check-in and check-out. So is there any option is available for mobile app?
So for the Crosschecks Cloud, we don't have the mobile application so far. It's on the development. It will be ready very soon. I had a feedback from the guys from R&D that maybe the end of this month or beginning of the next. But in this meantime, you can use the web browser. So if your employee, he can type the crosscheckscloud.com on the Google Chrome and do by there. Would be okay in the same way. Just not inside the app, but by the browser.
About the browser. No, I can control it, but I can be able to send the in timing through the cloud software, either by laptop or phone. If I'm accessing the browser, like in time and out, can I able to do it as an employee? I'm not coming to office today. I'm just directly going to the site.
Yes.
This is I have to send as a request by check-in, or I can able to check in instead of other options, any other options.
Yeah, you will be able to do it remotely by your phone or by your computer, and your boss, for example, if you are the employee, the boss will receive that on his Crosschecks Cloud. Of course, if so far we don't have the notification for that because it's only web browser. But in the application, we will have the notification. So for now, if you want to use this, the employee should communicate to the boss by phone or by Skype, I don't know, and the boss would refresh the page and the request would appear there. When the application is ready, we will be able to send the notifications in real time for that. So it will be easier, but it's under development.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for
your welcome.
Questions.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I saw other question here. Does Crosschecks access level has expiration function? The owner can set the access level, start date, and end date. Okay. So Wang, for now, we don't have this function. We have access control permission rules, but not with expiration function, because this is more like a visitor management. We will have that as soon as we deliver the new device. We are working on it with the QR code reading. So as soon as we have that, we will have expiration function on our softwares as well. All right. Okay. Let me see if I have any other questions for here. I guess that's all, Lucas. Did you separate any other specific one we forgot to reply?
Actually, I think that's it, Leo. We answered everyone.
Okay, guys. So I'm very glad for this webinar. We had very interesting questions. Thanks for everyone who stayed with us until now. Just would like to mention you guys, we have the community again. We can communicate by there. If you have technical questions or support necessity, access our webpage on the trouble ticket part, or send a support email, or if it's a sales inquiry, use the sales email or the sales part on that webinar. Just asking you guys to point the direction exactly to what you need. So this would save time from our team to reply you fastly and more efficient with the correct department. Okay, so thank you very much once again. We will send you the recording of this webinar in 24 hours, as well as the material. Thanks a lot, guys. Hope you can see you in the next opportunities. And Lucas, you have a webinar for CCTV, right? Want to mention something about it?
Yes, will be in June 15, 1 p.m. GMT time. I hope we can see you guys there. And before that, we will send an email with a formal introduction and invitation for everyone, every customer of Anviz. So hope to see you guys up over there as well.
Perfect. So at June 15, Lucas will be there together with Peter for the CCTV webinar. Hope you can see you guys there as well. Thank you, guys. Muchas gracias, obrigado, xie, in all the other languages for being with us today. See you next time. Thank you, Lucas.
See you guys. Thank you so much, Leo. Bye-bye.